Hi, I'm Brenda Power Ahmad, and you are watching OTV, where we offer solutions for living. In this episode of OTV, we're going to talk about picky eating, another common reason that parents seek occupational therapy services. While it is normal for kids to have food preferences and dislikes, picky eating can be very concerning for parents. There are varying degrees of severity with picky eating, ranging from an avoidance of certain textures, for example, not liking mushy foods like bananas, to refusal of an entire food group. In addition to working with your pediatrician and a nutritionist, occupational therapists can help to address this common issue. In this episode, we will talk about some of the strategies occupational therapists use to help expand a child's food repertoire and make mealtime enjoyable again. First and foremost, remove the pressure. A child should never be forced to eat anything. Forcing a child to consume a certain food item reinforces a negative association with mealtime and with food. All mealtime experiences should be kept positive to allow for the development of a positive association with food. Keep mealtime playful and fun with no coercion or pressure to consume anything. Role model exploration of new foods and talk about foods as you eat them. For example, wow, this apple is so crunchy and sweet. A positive mealtime environment creates the necessary foundation for food exploration. Allow your child to explore new foods on his or her own terms. You know the expression, never play with your food? Ignore it. Exploring the sensory properties of food is a critical component to becoming comfortable with food. In fact, children's comfort with food follows the sequential progression of sensory acceptance, accepting the food on their plate, exploring the food with a utensil, for example, touching it with a fork but not with their hand, touching the food with their hand or allowing you to touch them with the food, smelling the food, bringing the food to their lips, licking the food, tasting the food, putting the food in their mouth. They may spit it out a few times at this point, and that's okay. Chewing the food, and finally swallowing a bite. It can take 10 to 15 exposures at each level before a child feels ready to move to the next step. An occupational therapist can help determine where your child is on this progression and develop fun, play-based activities to move your child along the continuum. Set a consistent mealtime routine. A predictable routine prior to and during meals can help ease anxiety about mealtime and positively prepare your child for a meal. For example, set a timer prior to the meal where your child will wash their hands, help set the table and sit down. Make the routine work for you and your family. Involve your child as much as possible in the preparation and serving of meals, as this helps increase the exposure and comfort with food. Introduce changes slowly. Start with your child's preferred foods and gradually make changes to those less preferred. For example, if your child likes pizza, try adding a vegetable to the sauce. If presenting something new, don't overwhelm your child with a large portion of a new or less preferred food. Ensure to always have a preferred food on the plate with the new, less preferred food to make it less overwhelming. Remember, even if your child doesn't eat it, the fact that it is on the plate counts as an exposure and is a step in the right direction. If tolerated by your child, try and present a new food with a preferred food at all meals to increase exposure and encourage exploration of new foods. Most importantly, check your expectations. Expanding a child's food repertoire is a slow process, and the thought of new foods can actually be very overwhelming and scary for some children. Take it day by day, keep it positive, and take pride in small victories, and make sure your child feels proud too. In the end, remember that each person, each disability, and each environment often needs a unique solution to any given problem. Seek the services of an occupational therapist if you have a functional problem to solve. That concludes this episode of OTV, and remember, OTs know stuff.